Next paper by Dr. Hygrieve, who is going to argue that medical therapy is simpler and more cost effective than a watchman.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about the medical therapy aspect of the thing. You heard about from Sushil most of the data about the devices. Now, the most attractive thing about these devices, or the expectation from cardiologists from these devices, is that we're talking about a single therapeutic procedure. That's it in AF patients, which is going to be safe and sound. No anticoagulation at all. That is the main basic premise on which these devices are designed. And then this provides an effective prophylaxis against ischemic strokes. Have we achieved this? Now, the first point that I'd like to point out is that when we talk about a thrombus, we should not forget about the basics of thrombogenesis as the Virchow's triad, which includes that it is not just the stasis and the slow flow in the left atrial appendage, but the other features also. Atrial fibrillation is basically an inflammatory situation creating a prothrombotic state throughout the body. And this is an important point. So in such a situation of prothrombotic state involving the entire body, would a single focus, targeting a single focus like the appendage, suffice? Definitely not. Look at the PROTECT AF data itself, which is little more seriously. All the patients, warfarin was continued for 45 days post-implant. And after that, warfarin was stopped. And look at the patients in whom warfarin was stopped. 14 out of 20 ischemic strokes in these patients occurred in those in whom warfarin was stopped, emphasizing the importance of warfarin in these patients. And 14% of the patients, despite being a device arm, continued to take because of physician preference, showing that warfarin is something which we cannot neglect. Sushil casually mentioned about the various appendages anatomy, but look at them. All the pictures are the variants of left atrial appendage anatomy variations in the CT. You see the wide variety of this appendage anatomical variation. Now, when we plan a device, it's important that the shape of LA, the diameter of the LA orifice, the shape of the orifice, ellipse versus ovoid, and the angle of the LA bend, all these are taken into serious consideration. It is not just implanting a device. And more importantly, they are very close to left superior pulmonary vein and left circumflex artery. So any manipulation in this area can cause serious complications, and implanting centers need adequate expertise in imaging all these things. It's not a simple intervention. The procedures is done under the general anesthesia. Very few interventional cardiologists do under general anesthesia. Needs TE guidance and probably rotational angiography also. Now, look at the procedure. There are some procedure complications which Sushil did mention, but look at them carefully. Pericardial effusion, ischemic stroke, esophageal tear, the major complications were seen in the PROTECT AF. Device embolization does occur in all devices, but device recaptures, 42% of the patients had device recaptures. And all these were classified as successful implant because finally they are implanted, so it's successful. But look at the number of recaptures. 7% had residual leak. So these complications are not less, they are serious complications and quite significant complications in the PROTECT AF. Now, PREVAIL, over the period of time, the operators got better, so the complications got less. Now look at the PREVAIL, has it got over the problems? Same slides which Dr. Sushil has shown, I am showing. Now, tamponade, the graphs look nice, the complications seem to have decreased, but look at the final thing. Pericardial effusion with cardiac tamponade requiring pericardocensis or window, 1.5%, even a decreased one, that is not less. Look at the complications rate. Vascular complications which include perforation, pericardial effusion, ischemic stroke, device, all this put together 4.4% in the PREVAIL. That is definitely less than 8.7, but 4.4% complication rate is not insignificant, or neither is it negligible. The complications changed with the newer operators versus the experienced. PREVAIL showed that they are all similar. That's not good news, bad news. So whether you are experienced or not, the complications remain 4% and so high. That's not acceptable. And we are talking about data about the left atrial appendage. What is the data we are talking about? How much is the data? Now, we are comparing with warfarin, newer anticoagulation. Now, we are talking about warfarin after huge number of tons of data over lakhs of patients. And even newer anticoagulation, the Rocket, Aristotle, all these trials, the RELY, included 50,000 patients. We're talking about a Watchman device, we're talking about 1400 patients and even less with other devices. And look at the chat score. Most of the chat score in the Protect AF was 1 and 2, 68%. And no doubt the Prevail took a high risk patients, but we do not have the distribution of the chat score yet. So we are not sure about the high chat score patients, high risk patients in whom the risk of strokes are very high. What is the data in them? Unknown. And newer anticoagulation, we cannot declare them as a winner because we know that the newer anticoagulation have shown to be far better in reducing ischemic strokes in certain subsets of the patients. We have not compared the devices with these and newer anticoagulation. So before we come to the conclusion, another point I'd look at is the statistics. Now, one of the important endpoints of the Prevail was the composite stroke, systemic embolism, and cardiovascular unexplained death. The 18 months rates were equal between the device arm and the warfarin group, which was 0.064. But how many patients actually had follow-up? 30 patients in control and device 58 patients. So we are talking about this non-inferiority with this 30 and 58 patients. That's it. And confidence interval. This is a statistical analysis. The confidence intervals are very large, 1.75. What it means is that the device could be 75% worse than warfarin and still could be considered as non-inferior. So non-inferiority was taken as the endpoint of this trial, and it's statistically not a very attractive thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, the concern with the LAA device right now, although there are some data which is been come out in favor of T, is that first is technical challenges. It needs quite a bit of operator experience and technical backup in the particular center. There is a significant, very significant learning curve. The implant related complications, it's not a simple implant, and the implant related complications are not small and they're quite serious. And the newer anticoagulations have never been tested. We are not sure about them. The warfarin continues to be important because the Protect AF actually is not a trial between device and warfarin. Actually, it's between warfarin and device plus warfarin for 45 days. So warfarin was never stopped. So people who are intolerant or contraindicate warfarin, we are not sure because we cannot give warfarin in them, and Protect AF did give warfarin for first 45 days. And warfarin continues to be important because there is a thrombus at the device which can lead to strokes. The follow-up is in small numbers, and we are not sure about how significant is it. And finally, a small concern in some of the basic scientists is that LAA is not an embryological remnant which can be totally ignored. It is distensible structure. It has a role in heart failure because it can distend to many times its volume, and it secretes atrial natriuretic peptide. We are not sure, by excluding this completely, what is the effect in some subset of the patients where this could be important, especially in heart failure patients. Thank you very much. Before I conclude, one last thing is this conclusion from, I would like just in the words of Zoltan Turi in the JSCC, which is recently published. He said, although long-term anticoagulation is cumbersome and its own significant toxicities, for those who are appropriate candidates, it still remains the best studied approach as well as the standard of care. Thank you for this opportunity.